College football playoff finally here. Michigan TCU. That's a game that majority of us all care about the most. Another good game, Georgia and Ohio State. Before we get too far into that, though, the playoffs, we're gonna focus on some other news. But I got a question: is Jim Harbaugh the transfer portal king at this point? I mean,
he is this year, no question about it.
and
this is another way that he's reinvented himself, right? And it appears his strategy is we're gonna recruit guys the traditional way that we can develop, and then we're gonna plug holes out of the transfer portal with guys that have proven themselves for the most part.
mm-hmm.
They're not all going to be Tommy or anything, but guys that are solid and can come in and even if they're not starters, making an immediate impact on the depth chart. And I'd be willing to bet that next year we see a lot of people follow his lead.
Yeah, I remember when he started kind of getting the recruits, when he got the edge player from Coastal Carolina, Josiah Stewart, and Ernest Hausman from Nebraska, which was the number till Travis Hunter decided he was transferring, was the number one transfer recruit. If that's what you'll call him. And then they got Miles Hinton, Drake Nugent. I mean, pretty much got half the Stanford offensive line to come to Michigan. I mean, but that's got to do with his ties out there. Got the quarterback Jack Tuttle from Indiana, which I think will be a good fill-in spot as like a backup quarterback. Someone who's obviously, I think he's a junior.
I think that's right.
Jack Tuttle was junior, senior. So kind of someone played in the Big Ten. I mean, obviously at Indiana. Somebody that could be like a mentor type player for JJ. I mean, JJ's JJ, but someone older who's seen more than what JJ has. And we got that tight end. I mean, the AJ Burner from Indiana. The dude's gonna come into a pretty full tight end room. The fact that he came here, in my opinion, shows that at least he has a dog in him to compete.
Yep.
But I remember, like you talked about.
I meant to mention about this, and I forgot is, and I don't think it gets enough credit, and I think it probably greatly contributes to our newfound interest in the transfer portal is our new president, Santaono. He's very active on social media. He's been at every football game and most basketball games, and I do believe that there's been nothing official reported about it to my knowledge, but that he's loosened the reins a little bit and said, yeah, we're going to give you guys a little freedom. Before you almost had to be a grad transfer to come here.
Yeah.
And that's not the case now. So that's a big win for the university as well.
Yeah, and before I decided to go down the list of transfers, where I was going was, you talked about was saying he found the new way to maybe recruit. Now that the NIL and the transfer, it's really just one big free agency, honestly.
Yeah,
it really is. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State was like he's had teams like trying to get him to come to other schools, get him away from Ohio State while they're preparing for a college football playoff. I don't agree with that so much as let them focus on their season and then have a free agent period, like a trading period, like how you got in the NFL and things like that.
So this is one of the many bad sides of the NIL and the transfer portal is. I agree with you 100%. Kids should be off limits. They should not be able to recruit kids, and more importantly, mostly what they're doing now is negatively recruiting kids that that at least appear to be happy and satisfied where they are, they're actively trying to pull players away from teams. And um, I, I hope we're not doing it. I just think that's a bad look. If that transfer portal is, hey, I don't want to play here anymore for whatever reason, homesick, not enough playing time, doesn't like the coach, it doesn't matter. But until a kid hits the portal, I think they should not be um, able to be contacted. It's horseshit. It's dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I if this is the way that Harbaugh is going to recruit, I mean, I know we haven't seen. We had a top 20 class this year. Six of them being ESPN 300 members. Carmelo English, which was a huge get. Noah Etta, Amir Herring, Jair Hill, and Samaje Bridgman. All the 300 ESPN 300. I mean, yeah, that's a good class, but honestly, is for a team that's playing in the college football playoffs isn't what a lot of people would think. But again, as we talked about, I think Harbaugh might be transfer looking and more at the transfer portal than anything. Like you said, recruit where we can, get who we can, and whoever we can't get, we're gonna go get in the transfer portal and focus on that.
Right.
But like I said, we got the number one overall kicker this year, and at least is our actual signing day from early signing day back 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Finished 17th in the class on 24/7 arrivals, and we were considered the 18th class on on3.com and ESPN.com. But I mean, the long as this works, I don't think either one of us care, do we? I mean, he could go get somebody right out of the freaking homeless shelter, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but as long as you can play football, come play football for us.
Right.
We just want success. The success is there now that we needed, that we wanted for 20 years. Yep. And I think he's moving in the right direction to continue that success for however long Jim Harbaugh is at Michigan, whether it's 20 years down the road, because, I mean, I don't think he's leaving or getting fired. I think he's, at this point, there for life.
I've said this for 6 or 7 years. Jim Harbaugh will not get fired unless there's some type of scandal. And that's just not saying it's impossible, but that's just not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not be shocked if we won a natty, if he went out to the NFL and scratched that Super Bowl itch. It would not surprise me even a little bit.
So, I mean,
I'd be upset, but I mean, really, all you can say is thank you. He's done what he was brought here to do now.
Didn't it took a little bit longer than everyone expected, but yes.
Yep.
And everyone could shut the fuck up. I'll admit it. I was after the 2020 season, I was a fucking get rid of Jim Harbaugh at that point.
Yep.
Like a lot of people were.
Not me, but yeah.
I have text messages and shit.
If you can show me one text message where I say I want Jim Harbaugh fired, I will give you $10,000.
You were on the edge, so don't act like you weren't.
I'm not saying I wasn't on the edge, but what I'm saying is I never during that COVID season, I thought, man, I don't know why, but I don't think this is going to work. But I never wanted him gone.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'll eat crow on that. Fucking proudly and happily.
I mean, it happens, right?
Proudly and happily crow on that. I was calling for Luke Fickell.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of my things has always been is if Jim Harbaugh can't do it, who can? And who are you going to get to replace him? Now we're in a much better place 2 years ago than we were, or now than we were 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, you know, a Sonny Dykes, a Dabo Sweeney, and not that Dabo would leave now, but you weren't getting
Yeah.
any big names to come here.
Well, shoot. I mean, you can look at, Matt Rule going to Nebraska,
Right.
which huge hire for Nebraska. I think that is. I guess we all kind of thought Scott Frost was going to be a good hire there, but thank God he wasn't.
Kind of a Jim Harbaugh situation, you know.
But I think Matt Rule will be great. That Luke Fickell going to Wisconsin. The go off a little topic here. The Big Ten is loaded with prime coaches, especially when UCLA and USC come in 24.
Yep.
You go down the list, pretty much every team's got a coach that has a resume that would get them a job anywhere.
Right.
Really. And probably majority of them have success in places with, even if they're at a smaller school, like that's not doing great. Everyone's got a good pedigree in the Big Ten at this point now as a head coach. And it's great for the Big Ten. We're seeing it, I think, in a lot of places. The bowl games this year, you're seeing it a lot. Bring it. As much as I hate to say it, it's gonna having a Michigan Ohio State goddamn fucking national championship game will be insane for college football. Period. But it'll be great for the Big Ten. I know we're kind of off topic where we were at, but it'll be awesome, great for the Big Ten. No matter what happens,
going out so far right
especially
now, right?
with what's going on.
3-0 in bowl games.
3-1. Maryland lost yesterday. Oh no, Maryland won. Never mind.
No, Maryland won.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So today we got Penn State in the Rose Bowl, and then us in Ohio State. We
Alabama, K-State, yeah.
We could be 6-0 after today, and the SEC. I don't know their record, but I know they haven't done great.
It's not good. It's below 500. I'm pretty sure if I remember.
I want to say like 2-3 or something, but
I can figure that out.
And if Georgia loses, I guess my point is this is the opportunity for the Big Ten to maybe not say, hey, we're equal to the SEC, but to say, hey, here we are. We're in the conversation now.
Say we're there. We're where we wanted to be. Real quick, I'll go back on to recruiting a little bit and ask you honestly, who do you think the biggest? I don't know. You've seen the list by now. Who the biggest pickup was? It can't be the transfer portal. More in that signing day class from 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whatever it was. Who you think it was? Between 11, I know we had 23 total signed. 11 different. We had 11 players from different states. Players from 11 different states, and we had that one kid from France, international player.
Yeah.
For me, it was flipping. It was flipping Carmelo English. Stealing him right out of fucking Alabama's backyard. Love every single second of it. Another big one that I enjoyed, that I was really big on, that I think seems like in the past, especially at least at running back and quarterback, Michigan-born running backs and quarterbacks that come to Michigan haven't really shown out that well. But I think Cole Cabana is going to be a pretty big entrance to the University of Michigan, and I think in a few years we'll be looking at him to be like a Blake Corum or Hassan Haskins type player that
he's fast, man. It'll be interesting to see how he turns out. We haven't had we haven't had great luck with running backs coming in that were super
Derek
hyped,
Green, 5-star.
right?
Davion Smith.
Yeah.
But Davion Smith was decent, but he wasn't what everyone thought he was going to be.
Oh shit, Sam.
Sam McGuffey. That was quarterback.
Yep.
Oh no, who's a running back?
Yep. So we'll see, but yeah, high hopes.
Yeah.
You know, I still have that little lingering trauma.
Oh, it's there 100%
about some things, and that's one of them.
Yeah. No, it's there, and especially I forgot about McGuffey. I don't remember what his name was. I mean, again, him and Derek Green, at least in the past 10, 15 years, have been the two names that this dude's supposed to be amazing, and then Derek Green transferred out after 2 years. He was a 5-star running back out of Michigan. Out of Detroit, wasn't he? Somewhere out of Detroit, and then it might have been. Actually, he might have been from Ohio. I don't remember. But then Sam McGuffey. I mean, running backs for us. I mean, it hurts. All right. Let me make a little transfer here over to the college football playoff. We'll go with, we'll go with the nightcap tonight first. Georgia, Ohio State, and Atlanta. The line is Georgia's favored by 5.5.
Which is crazy to me because, okay, they're number one which as they should be. They're the defending national champions. But, man, that's a fucking home game for them.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, the matchup predictor has it set at 57% chance to win the game, which like you said, it's going to be a home game. But if you look at the numbers really aren't that far off between the two teams. Ohio State scoring 5 more points per game at 44.5 compared to 39.2. Damn near giving up the same amount of yards, or they're gaining about, it's like 0.3 that's in between them and their total yards per game. Obviously, Georgia's defense this year has been better, 12.8 points per game given up, 292 yards offensively, or yards per game, compared to 303.9 yards per game for Ohio State. So I mean, they're pretty close, other than really that points per game, which is it's a 12.8 to 19.3 given up. They aren't that far off. I think this game, like you said, it's a home game. Might as well be a home game for Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, we can look. I don't know how far away University of Georgia is from Atlanta, but I guarantee it's less than 2 hours. If I had to take a guess. I mean, I don't. Athens, Georgia. Yeah, it's like it's us driving to Lansing. It looks like, honestly, on the
right. No, it's like us playing on the CFP at Ford fucking Field.
Yeah, and then
you know what I mean.
That is, yeah.
That that's a home game. I don't care. And Ohio State travels really, really well.
Yes, they do. They're like us.
They're one of the maybe 2 or 3 teams that travel as well, and I think maybe in some cases better than us. I don't think anybody travels better than us in situations like we're in today.
No.
But you'll see 20,000 Ohio State fans going down to Kentucky to watch them beat Kentucky. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they travel.
They travel.
I mean,
most of them are probably able to stop because they're truck driving routes on the way, but still, it's cool that they do travel like that.
Yeah, I mean, but this, I want to skip some stuff, but I'm not gonna, because it kind of ruined all the stuff I have written down. I did this for no reason, but
honestly, that's usually the way it goes. We have a good guideline and we get going on rankings.
I know, but I the fact that I actually took time and fucking made notes this week because I was like, I want this show to be good. Sometimes we get off fucking track and it can go at railroad. It can wreck. Never mind. So I mean, looking at the season leading leaders for each team, I mean Stetson Bennett, obviously Stetson Bennett, and just C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
You got Kenny McIntosh for Georgia, which I mean, really, the running backs for these two teams haven't really been used that much. I mean, I honestly thought Georgia ran the ball a lot more than what they do.
They're one of the few teams, maybe the only team that uses tight ends more than we do.
Oh yeah, I know they love tight ends. That's what I was about to get because I mean Brock Bowers has 52 receptions for 726 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, but then again, they have Keon Washington, or I don't know his Washington, or I don't know his first name, but Brock Bowers is just a tank. I mean, I think Luke Schoonmaker is our leading tight end, and he has like 389 yards receiving. But to do that as a tight, I mean, but more in my opinion, Brock Bowers is a freaking wide receiver because I mean he's 6'5", but he's quick, strong. Someone I wouldn't want to see in a football field any day of the week. But I mean, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Mayan Williams, probably if he wouldn't have got hurt towards the end of the season, would have had a decent season, 1,200-yard season, something like that, which he is playing from what I'm hearing. He was out all week for Ohio State for like a few practices because like with the flu or something. Of course, the flu. Same thing that C.J. Stroud had back in 2021, apparently, in 3/4 of the Ohio State football team. But I mean, then receiving wise, you got Brock Bowers for Georgia, and then you got Harrison Jr., which whether he plays for Ohio State or not, Harrison Jr. the best receiver in college football, in my opinion. I didn't realize how good his numbers actually were until I sat down and wrote this. He has 72 receptions, 111.57 yards. Wow, I really fucked that up. 1,157 yards and 12 touchdowns. I mean, almost 1,200-yard receiving year. I mean, that's good. I mean, if he's in the right program for it, though. He's fast, quick.
Yep.
Stroud can throw the football. We all know this. But I think for me, it's gonna be that the tight ends for Georgia that are like the real difference in this game if Ohio State can slow them down or not.
So, I think the matchup between Harrison Jr. and what's their DB Green? Nyland Green, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That's gonna be a deciding factor because he's an elite QB or DB quarterback, and for my money, I know a lot of people like the kid from Tennessee, can't think of his name, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver in college football right now, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. This game's going to be, in my opinion, way better than what people say it is. I get some keys, at least. So I have some more. The keys for Georgia is Jalen Carter, man. Jalen Carter up front in the defensive line has been amazing for them. He's got to continue to be a menace up front for Georgia to disrupt that, get pressure on Stroud, disrupt Ohio State's game plan. Their secondary is going to have to ball out. We've seen against LSU. Secondary get 8 alive. That's why The secondary got ate alive, and that's why I see Ohio State might be able to make some moves and have success against their secondary unless they step up. Brock Bowers and Washington need to continue to do what they're doing, what they've been doing all season. And then big game Stetson Bennett. I mean, doesn't matter where you look at. Every big game that he plays in, he shows up ready to play football. Can he continue doing that today against Ohio State? We shall see. Those are my keys, at least for Georgia. For Ohio State, it's kind of flip for some of them. Slow down Jalen Carter, obviously, up front. Their offensive line is going to have to stop him. And I don't think there's any stopping him. It's more slowing him down.
Right.
Continue. Can they continue? Can they counterpunch after the loss to us? Yeah, they say they're mad. They say they're pissed off, but they also said that for 365 days. Yeah,
Right.
365 days about us, and we came in there and whooped that ass in Columbus.
Right.
And can CJ Stroud and Harrison Jr. hit on home run plays? Because big plays, we all know big plays are big in these games. Georgia killed us with big plays last season.
Yep.
Ohio State, when they won in 2014, I remember they killed Alabama and they killed Oregon with big plays. Can they do it? Can they keep it going? We shall see. I think personally, yeah, I think Stroud and Harrison are going to have some success today, just because I don't think Georgia's secondary is. I don't think they're that great after what LSU did to them in the SEC championship game. Yeah, I think they gave up 30 points, but it was a lot of passing yards for a decent team, not like a competing team for the national championship or anything. But I mean, that's what I got for keys for each team. My final score prediction for this game, I have it coming down to the wire, coming down to like a last-second field goal, honestly, and I think it's Ohio State 34, Georgia 31. And I think Ohio State goes to the national championship game. I do think they come out pissed off from November. And I think they come ready to play. And I don't know. I was gonna say I don't think Ryan Day would let them do that. Would let them not come ready to play at this point, but I could be wrong.
If he does, he's fired. If they come out and get flat, he might as well pack his shit on the way home.
If they get shut out, they're over. He's done. Yeah, I got Ohio State 34, Georgia 31. I think they can pull it off and get the victory today.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State won, and I wouldn't be shocked if Georgia won. If Georgia can do what we did and limit their great players to, statistically,
big plays, but not
they put up a
touchdowns.
lot of yards on us, but they were yards that didn't count. And if Georgia can follow that game plan and do that, I roll them, because Ohio State, and this isn't really meant to be a shot, but Ohio State is more of a speed and finesse team than a physical team. And Georgia and Michigan are very similar in that they want to physically punish you and impose their will on you. And that's what Georgia did to us last year and did to everybody. And I don't believe that Georgia is on the same level they were last year, but they're really, really good. But with that being said, I'm trying to think of a score and who I want to pick, because I think it's going to be a blowout one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a close game. And I think whoever wins by 17 plus. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Ohio State 38-21.
I mean, like
Ohio State can score in fucking bunches.
You're right. And I sit here now that after hearing you say that, I mean, it's definitely a big possibility because if Ohio State gets moving the football, or even if Georgia gets moving either one of those teams gets in the groove and the other team's not in the groove, it's probably gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
I guess I was more benefit when on my pick. I was more bouncing off the fact that both teams would kind of click, and I mean both teams' defenses aren't the greatest. I mean Georgia's great up front. I'm not going to get that wrong, but their secondary is not, and that's where Ohio State's going to attack.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see.
For both offenses, I feel like it's strength on weakness.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll see. It's going to be about who's stepping up and making the plays, and this is if Georgia loses, they're going to be upset, and their fans are going to be pissed, and it's going to suck. But they would be 28-1 over the last 2 years.
28-2. They lost last year.
Oh yeah, 28-2.
They lost to Bama and then.
But if Ohio State gets beat, especially if they're beat badly, that whole narrative is going to change about the direction of their program. It already has a little bit because of the way we went down and spanked them. But if Ohio State gets beat today badly, that could send their program on a downward spiral. I mean, watching their fan base is so funny. Is that and this, but for the first 3 or 4 days after we beat them, it was fire day. Fuck him, I'm gonna burn his house down. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Then it was, oh, we made the CFP. We want Michigan. We want Michigan. So to watch these guys go up and down is which is what they've been doing to us, right, for the last 20 years. So it's really nice to be on this side of things. Is I guess my point.
Oh yeah, I still.
But with that being said, if we're down like 14-3 at halftime or something, I bet my fucking life that there'll be people on Twitter calling for Harbaugh's head or Sharon Moore's or
I know, whatever,
whoever it may be.
Whatever. I mean, it's a very we all want a natty. I mean, I die for a natty right now. Not really, but when I say die,
Thanks for clarifying.
I didn't want to. Well, then I started thinking about karma and how that shit works, and I was like, well, my luck, I'll get. Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay with that. If I get to watch Michigan, if the clock expires and I kill over dead 1 second afterwards, I'm perfectly fucking okay with that.
Yeah,
I'd prefer like maybe 15 minutes to enjoy it, but kind of revel in it. But yeah, go ahead and take me. I don't care.
I mean, it's not a horrible way to go, but I have shit I still want to do in life. Fuck, that got me off track. What the hell was I gonna say? So when Stroud, all those memes with CJ Stroud and that piece of like white canvas or whatever started popping up, I was saving every single one of them. I sent every single one of them to Aaron. I was like, boom, boom, boom. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll jump over to the game here, starting with about a little over 3 hours now till kickoff. The game of the day for me and you, Michigan TCU, in Arizona. Michigan favored by 7.5. I'll say before we get into it, TCU Twitter is Michigan State Junior right now.
Holy cow! And it started off, it was kind of funny at first.
Yeah, it was cool. And it was cool, but they're literally using all the lines Oh, you didn't go to that
Their
school.
biggest
You ain't
sign
no
is how can you be
alumni.
a fan if you didn't go there? And I'm just
Yeah,
like, shut the fuck up.
because we aren't some little Christian college. Not saying that's a bad thing again, but
Right,
in buttfuck Texas,
right.
um,
They allow 74% of applicants to get in there. And for an in-state person, it's 70 grand a year tuition there. We allow 24% of applicants in.
yeah,
That right there says a lot.
yeah. I mean, it's okay. They think that they're gonna have more fans than us there today, and I'm like, hell no. I was reading that too.
So,
TCU Barstool posted today and was like, posted something and said, my Uber driver tells us we have a huge fan base out here. And I'm like, cool, you know what? Y'all might have a big fan base for you guys, but I guarantee their big fan base is a tiny fan base for us, even in a bowl game like this.
and it may be, but I'm actually a little bit worried about that because if it's more than 30% purple, that's probably a win for them. And Dave Portnoy had posted earlier today, or maybe it was late last night, that he was very surprised at the amount of people that are TCU fans coming up to him and doing it.
Oh yeah, because
But I can't believe
they had their bowl game last night. The Barstool. I can't believe those motherfuckers got a bowl game, dude.
I know.
I did hear. I don't know if it ever happened. I'll have to look it up. But they were talking. I'm sorry, guys, going off topic here. That they were talking about Bussing with the Boys with Will Compton and Taylor Lewan. That Big Cat was supposed to like skydive into the game with like before. I don't know if it actually happened or not.
I think it did.
I'm looking it up right now because.
So I thought it was really cool that they got the bowl game team. The one thing that I thought was cheesy, and a lot of people said it too, is like they didn't pay. They did. I would, if that was me, I would have Barstool in the end zone, and it still had Arizona. Now maybe the college wouldn't let
That's
them do
probably the
it.
college, yeah.
Who knows?
Because there's a lot of bowls that I imagine like that I've seen this year, and I was like, that's not no. I don't think it happened because I can't find anything on the internet about it. Would have been awesome. But yeah, no, because I noticed this year a lot of bowl games didn't have the stuff painted on it.
Is that right?
Like there was a lot of like the smaller games that were at college fields, and I always remember, even if it was at a college, that the field was painted usually.
Yeah.
The turf was replaced or whatever they do.
And I mean, the reality is that it can't be that expensive, right? To paint, you paint the old team's green, and then you paint your logo, and then you paint over it. I mean,
yeah,
and repaint. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it goes, but we'll see. So the only thing that really concerns me today has got me on edges. Max Duggan is a football player. He's tough.
Oh yeah.
I've only watched him in bits and pieces, other than their conference championship game, which they lost. And the guy is a competitor, and competitors try, do everything they can to win. And TCU, I think, has got seven games they've won this year by coming back in the fourth quarter, the second half.
Yeah, it's some crazy stat. Like I mean, the team.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to count him out, and
they got that dog.
That conference championship game got him to New York for the Heisman ceremony. So, and Michigan social media has been insanely overconfident, and not that has any effect directly on the team, but we all know that the players are highly involved in social media, even though most of them don't interact very much. But I just hope that hasn't trickled down and gotten their head. They're saying and doing all the right things, and it sounds like we're ready to go. And I can't.
You won't know. We won't know until they get on the field, though.
Right.
No, I mean Max Duggan is a dog. I mean, 3,321 yards with a 30-4 touchdown interception ratio. I mean, the dude's going to be a good. His feet are what I'm worried about more than anything. Just him using his legs, because, like you said, I mean that whole team has dog in them. But I mean, him using
Not
his
on
feet.
paper though. They're greatly overmatched talent wise. But
They're not. I'm going to say this: they're not. It's just kind of part of my keys, which I'm kind of throwing out the paperwork at this point. They're 3-3-5. JJ said if they stay in that 3-3-5, it's going to be some smashing.
right.
That I'm sorry, Sonny. I don't see that working at all. Not against us. Not against a team as run power, run front, fucking heavy as we are.
Right.
With running backs that will absolutely take 3 to 4 yards of carry, because that's plenty. I think you need 3.2 yards per carry every drive, and it's a first down every time. Every play. I mean, and that's the biggest thing with Michigan's rushing game. It really, especially since Mike Hart got here, I've noticed their running backs fall forward more.
Yep.
They make sure they fall forward to get even that extra half a yard, because that half a yard can come down to a touchdown or not a touchdown at the end of the day.
First down, not a first down,
Yeah. But I mean, that's the 3-3-5 defense. I feel is going to have to change. I could be completely wrong and not know what the fuck I'm talking about, but in my opinion, 3-3-5 is going to change. And if they change it, their secondary better be ready, because we're going to test them.
Right.
We're going to test them. They're going to test us. This game, I think we're very, like you said, very well. I think they're very much overmatched. I think the weight on the line of scrimmages differential is immense. It's a lot. I think up front we'll be able to push them, get them off the ball. JJ said, bring the Big 10 to the Big 12. The Big 12 is not known for defense. They're giving up 385 yards of offense a game. TCU is, and giving up 25 points a game. I mean, oh wow, never mind. I was about to say, well, this is Kansas State Bama game looking pretty bad right now. It's 10-0, but Bama is supposed to score, about to score right now to make it 10-7 if they score. But so I mean, other than that, like TCU's not a bad team, but I don't think they're.
No,
I don't think they're going to be able to hang in with us. That's what I'm trying to say here.
I think that they are legitimately the fourth best team in the country this year. I think this is one of the only years that the playoff committee's got it right, top to bottom. But I think that there is a really big gap between teams 1 and 2 and the rest of the field. If we turn over the ball more than once, they have a really good shot.
Yeah.
If they are able to shut the run down,
they got a good shot.
A very good shot. And if we can't contain Max Duggan in the pocket and get some pressure on him, they have a pretty good shot. But if we can eliminate turnovers and run the ball or shut him down, we need to do one of those two of those three. We need to take care of. We're going to be just fine, because as we've said a million times throughout the season, we wear teams down. And
every time
they don't have the depth and the talent that we have. And that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a game for the first half, and I wouldn't even be surprised if, they had a 3 or 7 point lead, and that wouldn't bother me at all.
No, and not after this year. We're the best, in my opinion. Honestly, I think out of teams that I can come off the top of my head and actually think about, we're the best second half team I've ever seen in my lifetime. No matter, I that's just off the top of my head, not looking shit up. That I can remember off the top of my head that Michigan is the best second half team that I've seen.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head
The
either.
adjustments are fucking insane. Ohio State came out and just made substantial adjustments, held them to 3 points in the second half. When was the last time Ohio State was held to 3 points and a half?
Right.
So for real, I want like that's a big question I have. I never even thought about that, but now that I just said that, I'm like, holy shit! Like, when was the last time? Maybe in a playoff game.
So the one other thing that slightly concerns me is that TCU is a second half team too. You know, we talked about their 7 comeback wins in the fourth quarter, so they're for sure the second best second half team in the country. So that's a strength on strength deal. But with that being said, I think we win 41-28.
Yeah, I think I'll go down some of my notes real quick and then give you my points. I'm right around that though, the 41-28. Just some little tidbits that I was reading. I meant to say these at the beginning of all this, so I'm sorry. Michigan has won more games over the last 2 seasons, 25 games, hopefully 26 after tonight, than any 2-year stretch in the university history. In University of Michigan history. I mean, that the amount of years that University of Michigan's been around, and to think that this season is that season where the past 2 seasons are that just shows how big these past 2 seasons have been for the university period. 25-2 over the last 2 years. First time playing TCU, second time in the Fiesta Bowl ever. 1984 was the last time with Jim Harbaugh, right? Was it 84, correct? They played Nebraska.
So kind of a cool thing. He can become the first person to win it as a player and a coach.
Yeah, I was wondering that because I think I read that now that you say that. Definitely be cool and hopefully it happens. I got some keys real quick. I think we kind of talked about it. For Michigan, all eyes are going to be on J.J. McCarthy. If they were talking about a game day today, now that I think about it, is he could have some good success in the option today, and in like a play action rollout, run pass option. All eyes on JJ wearing down TCU, and you can't have no dead fish up front. Can't have dead fish. I read it. Sharon Moore, I think it was, said a dead fish is the person up front who, like the bad player up front. Player's not playing good in the offensive line. And you can't have that one person, that one dead fish up front. Not saying they will. I mean, offensive line, but you can't have that, especially not now.
Right.
Get a push up front for TCU. Get a push. Like they're gonna have to win the battle 75% of the time, in my opinion, to have a chance of the battle of the trenches. They're gonna have to win it at least 75% of the time to have a chance. Live on the edge. I think TCU, again, we kind of talked about it, at least for me, it's Mac Duggan's feet. I think TCU's has a big shot to get success on the edge. Because I mean they're quick, they're fast. Between Max Duggan, their running back, Miller. I think stuff around the edge could work for TCU. Hopefully it doesn't. And then TCU's defense they're gonna step up. Because I mean 385 yards a game given up, that's not a good look. I mean, we've rushed, and I think they have a really bad rushing defense, if I remember correctly. Like, it's really bad, like substantially
really bad.
And that's not good when you're playing one of the top rushing offenses.
Right.
But I mean, I think Michigan wins. I think we win it easily. Not saying it'll be easy the whole game, but after the second half, I think we pull away, wear them out. Same thing we've done all season. I think it's 45-24. TCU.
You think TCU wins?
No. Shut up, Hunter. No, Hunter. Michigan. I'm sorry. Thank God. God, that was a fucking brain fart. Hell no. Because I said Michigan wins, and then I said fucking. I think I meant to say
45-24 TCU.
Oh God, no. Hell no.
All
God,
right.
no.
Something goes wrong. This is on you, dumb motherfucker.
Nuh-uh. You talked me out of going to the game. This is on you. Yeah, I should have went.
I would have went if I was you.
Shut the fuck up. No, I was really hoping that you would tell me to go. That one night when I texted you and I was like, if you were my age, would you make the 23-hour drive over there? And I was like, if he says yes, I'm going. If he says yes, I'm going.
I would have. Fuck yes, I would have.
You said no.
I know, because it was my job to talk you out of it.
And I was like, you text me right now and tell me yes, I'm fucking going. I was like, because I was like, I'm going. He texts me. Don't give a fuck. He says yes, I'm getting in the car right now. And then he said, probably not. And I was like, this motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, so we each got Michigan, Ohio State in the national championship game. I would say we'd make a pick on that, but then it kind of takes away our whole thing for next weekend.
Yeah, and I don't want no bad juju in our way because of that either.
No. But hopefully next time we see y'all, we're getting ready for national championship. Guys, go follow us on pretty much anywhere social media except Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere. Guys, go follow us. Give us a like, share with all your friends, and all the links for that stuff can be found on the Tall and Taller pages. Link all pinned. Spotify too. Y'all, let's see what happens today. Go blue, and hopefully, like I said, next time we're playing for a national championship. Next time we talk.
Yes, sir. Hail.